something happens with the courthouse site and the landing site, it really will become a thing. So, David, looking into 2020.
I would say my spin on that would be maybe a little different. I mean, I kind of look at it as a 80-20 rule, and the 20% being, the concept of high tide raises all ships kind of logic. There's endless examples of companies that have done amazing things from startup to otherwise in some of the worst conditions possible, some of the worst economies possible, et cetera, et cetera. So on the 80-20 side, on the 80% side of it, I think it's really very, very, very individualized. Do the companies on an individual level have access to capital? They have the right management teams and processes in place and technology strategies and all those types of things. So in general, extremely optimistic. I mean, I think Jacksonville's kind of on the tip of the iceberg of really taking off and exploding. I mean, every time you drive around, you drive by someplace and it's a field, and the next day there's like 3,000 people living there, literally. It's like we're employing all these people.
Where did it come from? Yeah.
And obviously, with all the population growth, it's like somebody's employing all these people. There's a lot of companies coming in as well. So it's very positive, but in reality, it's very individualized. Do the individual companies have the right strategies and things in place to make that happen? Because again, there's great examples of companies that have done amazing things in bad economies, et cetera. But in general, very optimistic about not really 2020, but really the next 3 or 4 years, especially on the technology front, because we're at rapid pace right now with what's going on the technology side, and there is a little bit of a timing element to it as well. That will it be relevant 10 years from now? It absolutely will, but there is a little bit of a window. 15 years ago, we couldn't do what we do today. We would be in the same position. So being in the right time at the right place is very, very important. And I think the next really 3 or 4 years on the technology side, mobility and cloud, everything is going to blow people's minds with what's going on. It really will. And Jacksonville's going to play a big role in that.
Wonderful. Well, we'll turn to the audience in one moment, but let me just real quick run down here one more time. And we have an audience here of people who are interested in helping the First Coast grow, helping it develop, helping it innovate, helping it come to the next level. So what's your one takeaway that you would like them to leave here with to help them do that? If you had one thought that you could put in each of their minds as they leave here, an action item, something to think about, actually let's start here with you, David. What would that be? What's one thing you'd like them to take away from tonight?
I would say the one thing that jumps out to me, and I don't know if this has probably been discussed a little bit today, but just when a lot of people in the room are very successful, a lot of people on the stage are very successful, and just when you get to those levels, every chance you get, look at things that on the giving back side that you can give back to, and we're on boards just like everyone else here, and City Rescue Mission and various other ones, and you can really create. When people talk about in business, you talk about a multiplier effect, and you're going to give me $100,000, and I'm going to save your business, $1 million, and it's going to be a multiplier effect, and everybody deals in that kind of ROI language, et cetera. On the giving back side, with a lot of the charity things in town and across the country, obviously, there's a huge multiplier effect that changes generational poverty. STEM is a big part of that. It changes we've got a big thing. There was a documentary on Channel 4 last week that we participated in where it's talking about changing the digital divide, et cetera. But one takeaway I would say is, if you've had some success and enjoy it, but at the same time, invest in the positive multiplier effect of changing generational poverty and some of those things, because there's actually a negative multiplier effect as well that goes the other direction. And once it goes there, it's hard to turn around. Very, very difficult to turn around. So it goes both ways. So just invest back in causes. There's endless causes that need support in this city. So.
Danny?